Welcome back to my channel. I am Abby Lee. I am a wedding planner and business owner of Sugar Plum & Co. And today we are starting a new series on my channel, which is basically venue shopping. So it's a big task in the wedding planning process. So in this series, we're going to be touring different venues that we've worked at that I'm super familiar with, just to give you some tips and tricks. So today we are touring Serendipity Garden Weddings here in Oakglen. Here all the time, and I know it really well, so I'm gonna take you around. So Serendipity Garden Weddings is a super popular venue here in the Inland Empire and just in SoCal in general, for good reason. I think if you've seen their Instagram, if you've been on their website, the property itself is super beautiful. There's a bunch of roses everywhere and cobblestone, and you'll see it throughout this video. And then for myself, why I like it is just basically everything I just said. It's a beautiful property. You don't have to do much in terms of like your decor. I'll go into that a little bit later. And just the staff that they have here, the caliber of their service is super great. And so all in all, it's an awesome venue. This venue is mainly outdoors. The ceremony area is outdoors. The reception area is outdoors. However, currently we are in their new space, which is the barn. So you could do your ceremony here, you could do your reception here. For the most part, in terms of aesthetic, Serendipity is pretty rustic, I guess you could say. Obviously they have the wood elements of it, but it's not like too rustic where it's like burlappy, you know what I mean? But it also, hence the name garden, it is very garden inspired. There's a lot of roses here, trees, just like beautiful landscaping that makes the feel of this venue pretty garden inspired, which is why I like it so much, which I think is why a lot of brides like it so much, because like I said, the venue speaks for itself. Well, as you can hear, there are birds chirping, there's like animals. I think I've seen like deer. So this is in Oakglen, this is in the Empire, it's like up in the mountains. And a lot of brides that do get married here are from like Orange County in LA, and it's up in the boonies. So when you do drive up, you'll see like cows and animals, and when you get here, you'll hear the birds. I will kind of talk through this space as if you were a wedding guest, right? So if you are pulling up here for a wedding, the first thing that you are going to encounter is the parking situation. Parking here is great. There's not a problem. They have ample parking for everyone. No valet needed, so that's a bonus. Guests arrive, they'll get out of their car, they'll be greeted by a greeter by Serendipity. They'll lead guests down these stairs, and they'll go to like a welcome table where you can drop off your gifts, your cards, sign the guest book. You can then have the option of walking down to ceremony. The venue is a little bit spread out and big, however, Serendipity has staff throughout the wedding that will golf cart your guests, especially if you have anyone in wheelchairs or elderly people. They will take care of them so that they don't have to be walking back and forth. This is the golf cart road. Obviously it does meet like the walking road, so you will walk down here as well. Keep in mind, if you do decide to book here, depending on the season, is whether the roses will be in bloom or not. So obviously in the winter, it's not going to be all lush and green. So just keep that in mind. As for ceremony locations, there are a couple different options. Obviously the most popular one is the one that's outdoors in the bottom, and it has like the big pergola area. So that is the most popular option for people to get married. Okay, so as you can see, they're setting up for a wedding today. We are now at ceremony. So oftentimes people will do like another signage down here. So these are called white resin chairs. This is what's included in your package for ceremony. They do have upgraded chairs available like Chevaris and the crossback chairs. If for whatever reason the weather is funky and it's cold and rainy, they do have this barn option that I'm in right now that you could do your ceremony at. And I believe they have a new one, which is in the back of the barn. Okay, so this is Serendipity's newest addition to the venue. Another thing that Serendipity does offer to couples is offering a pre-champagne type of situation before your ceremony. So basically what this is once guests arrive, they are shuttled down to what's called the Oak Grove area, where they can enjoy a glass of champagne prior to your ceremony. Okay, so this is Rose Tunnel, Rose Garden, I don't know. But basically it's a super pretty spot where it's just a good place for photos. You can take your romantics here, bridal party photos here, and it leads to the Oak Grove. So we talked about champagne before the ceremony, we talked about the ceremony, so afterwards is cocktail hour. So they have a couple locations where you can do this at. The most popular is the cocktail terrace. Okay, so this is the cocktail terrace. So if your guests do arrive late for ceremony, Serendipity doesn't golf cart them down just because it'll obviously be a disturbance to the ceremony. So they actually have them come the back way, like through reception, and then they just hang out here and watch from here. You can still kind of hear, so just kind of something to know for any late guests. So guests will walk upstairs. Again, if you do have elderly guests or any guests that are in wheelchairs, they will golf cart them back up and then show them to the space. So there's that space that's really cool and popular. Another option is to do your cocktail hour at the Oak Grove. When you are deciding what time you should have your ceremony, obviously you need to consider the time of the year that you're getting married so that you know when sunset is. Obviously in the summertime, the sunset's a little bit later, and during the winter, it sets a little bit earlier. So in terms of Serendipity, look at that. I will say, I believe the package is a 5-hour event time, and you do have to be done and out of here by 10 o'clock. So typically a lot of people do their ceremonies at 5 and end at 10. However, you can buy additional hours and start at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. So after cocktail hour, guests will then be led to the reception area. So there are two options. The most popular one is up in the terrace, which is overlooking kind of like the mountains in Serendipity. It's a beautiful view. This is usually for dessert. Usually where they do coffee and tea. Here's, oftentimes they'll put a photo booth over there in this area. This is the famous fireplace. And then the second option is here in the barn. So this is also just a great option, especially just wet weather. So you never know if it's rainy or cold. However, if you do want to keep your reception up at the terrace, there is the option of getting a tent. So another cool aspect about this venue is that for your family photos, they have a great spot to do this, which is at the Oak Grove. I know a lot of photographers like to shoot there because it's nice and shaded, which is great for photos, and it's also away from your guests. That's always just a plus. You always want to have your family photos and like romantics to be separated from your guests. So that's super nice. For Serendipity, they do include a bridal suite in their package, which is awesome, and you do have access to it all night. They do also have an option. It's a separate little, I think they call it the cottage, in addition to the bridal suite. So the bridal suite, I think you only get 2 hours prior to your ceremony. However, if you need a space to get your hair and makeup done, they have a separate cottage that you can rent for an additional fee, which you can get in as early as 7 a.m. I think, which is great, right? So you can get your hair and makeup done at the cottage, and then once you're done, you can move over to the bridal suite. It just makes things nice and easy, so you don't have to be in an Airbnb or hotel. You can just have everything pretty central space. In terms for the guys, a lot of times when they do come here, they come here already ready, and usually they actually hang out here in the barn. So this is usually where the guys hang out, and then again, they just kind of store their stuff up at the same bridal suite up by reception. Burn! So now we're in the bridal suite. So this is a great space, like I said earlier, for your bridesmaids to store their stuff, for you to store your stuff. It's right next to reception, so it's a great space for any guests that are nursing. The bathrooms are right next door. Serendipity is really awesome because the bathrooms easily accessible throughout the location, as well as little water stations. So they just have you covered. Okay, so that is the end of the venue tour of Serendipity Garden Weddings. Obviously, if you follow me on Instagram, you see how much we're here. So yeah, if you're interested in this venue, don't wait. They book really fast. And if you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more videos of us touring different venues and getting my opinion on it, let me know in the comments below. Okay, make sure to follow me on Instagram at @HiAbbyLee and Sugar Plum Co.